Are we on? Are we on?
Yes.
All right. Love this stuff. You know, I've been using podcasts for such a long time. You know, it's a little change of ambiance with some good old jazz. This music actually reminds me of Esteban Jordan, Steve Jordan. Back in the day, when he was still around, I'd go and hang out with him. He used to live in a trailer house with his two kids, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like you'd have to drive through an orchard of orange trees in Westlaco, between Westlaco and Mercedes, and it was like south of Old 83. Mm-hmm. And you had to get through this road behind the drive-in, and then there was a road that would go down an edge of a freaking orchard of orange trees, and then you'd get to the back, way in the back, and there was a trailer there, real nice trailer, and that's where Steve Jordan was staying with some dude, un gringo, mm-hmm. and his two kids were there. Wow. And we'd be there for days. I mean, like 2-3 days, just. And they had satellite television, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how on satellite television they have all these music channels?
Yes.
They'd have it on the jazz channel like 24/7. Wow. This is all Esteban Jordan would listen to all day long and night. And when I hear this music, it just reminds me of him. Mm-hmm. I remember one time, you know that song by Beto Quintanilla, Le compré la muerte a mi hijo?
Yes.
Where he talks about buying a Camaro for his son, and mm-hmm. his son goes and he kills himself in the Camaro.
Yeah.
And I actually turned Esteban Jordan to that.
Really?
He had never heard it, and I was like, "Oye, estas corridos," because
he had never heard of Beto Quintanilla in general, or he just hadn't heard of that corrido.
I'm not sure. I think it's just that corrido. I'm sure he'd heard of Beto Quintanilla. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I mean, because the guy was very, I don't know, he was very particular. Esteban Jordan, Steve Jordan was very particular about taking pictures, about doing interviews, about, you know, performing. He had his, you know. He had his little, you know, moments where, you know, if he didn't want to do something, he wouldn't do it. He had to, it was all feeling to him.
Yeah.
You know. And so it was like 8 a.m. and we're still up, man. We'd been partying and we'd hang out in the kitchen, and then I went to the living room and he had a little stereo there. So I put on a CD of Beto Quintanilla and I started playing Le compré la muerte a mi hijo, right? Mm-hmm. And he was just like, wow, because he's done corridos. He's done La Camelia, mm-hmm. you know, he's done some el Juan Chirrisquis, which is like Juan Charrasqueado, yeah. but it's like raza barrio style, you know, mm-hmm. Chuco style, mm-hmm. and he was blown away with it. And I thought, man, imagine, I think he would have done a really cool job to kind of phrase it or you know, word it in his style and redo that song. But
yeah.
But, man, I was a big fan of Steve, man. We're good friends. I've got his tattoo. And as a matter of fact, check this out. I don't know if anybody has this. I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
I have this. This was Steve's last show. And
at Cine El Rey?
Yeah, it was at Cine El Rey. Mm-hmm. And I went into the bathroom. It was his 70th birthday. Mm-hmm. And he was performing. And we were like in the 4th row. I mean, I wasn't going to miss it. And I went to the bathroom, and there was a poster on one of the urinal, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was actually on the door of the where you go into the toilet, mm-hmm. you know, because it was it was promoting the show. Mm-hmm. I freaking took it. I took, and it was like the only poster around. And I told my uncle Jesse, because Jesse had gone. Remember, he was with us, and
yeah,
I went back to the chair. Era lo que me chingué, vato. And he was like, hay otro, güey.
Yeah, he wanted one too.
Yeah. So I framed it. I had it specially framed. I think it was with Mr. What was his name?
Mr. Klein.
Mr. Klein, one of the oldest dudes, lives down. I mean, his shop is down Main Street, down my street.
Yes.
And he's here in McAllen, and the dude is like, he walks like very small steps. He's very old, but he's very, very, ¿cómo te digo? He's bright.
Yeah.
Y siempre que mira a Rally, no, hombre, le hace pedo a Rally. Cállate la boca,
Always.
shut up, viejito.
Always.
Mañoso, chica.
He's so cute, though. He's so cute.
But I don't know, how much do you all think this is worth, man? I mean, you know, if I would put it up for auction, how much do you think this would get? I mean, I'm not, obviously. But it would be interesting how much somebody out there is willing to pay for this amazing poster of one of Esteban Jordan's final concerts at Cine El Rey.
But I don't think you should
No,
sell it
of course
at
not.
all.
No, I don't think so. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some guys there right now that'll, you know. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome to #PVT. Tuesday Night Live, number 12, from the My PVT Network studio, brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men. Yeah, you'll be drumming like this with that testosterone. And be walking into the bedroom and, hello, baby. And they've also got that IV vitamin therapy infusion.
Infusion therapy.
Infusion therapy. IV vitamin infusion therapy. There we go. The drummer got me all crazy, huh? You need to try it out, man. It boosts your immune system, and it just does fantastic wonders for you. Makes you feel like $1 million. Check them out. It is Dr. T's Primary Care for Men. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video and our show. And, of course, every Tuesday, we're live, Tuesday night. And we appreciate everybody that joins us, okay? Mm-hmm. And a reminder to join our Patreon club. A $25 pledge gets you a special #PVT t-shirt and sticker. And you have the chance of winning in our #PVT weekly drawing for prizes, okay? You can find it at patreon.com. And you search Rock and Roll James PVT. And if you want to be part of that, and on Thursday we'll be picking some winners. We'll get a couple because because of the hurricane and all that stuff, we haven't been able to do it.
Yes.
And so we're also going to create some new t-shirts. We were just talking, me and Rally, we're talking about making some new t-shirts with some really cool logos and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start, putting some more merchandise out for all the fans out there, because we get asked about T-shirts all the time and caps and stuff. And koozies. We need to make some koozies that say Tetera Tuesday, right?
Yes.
I mean, we need to make those Tetera Tuesday, and so people can have them, they can win them,
Yep.
All right, also make sure to join our Patreon to message us. I just said that, right?
Yeah. You need to remind them that they need to message you on Patreon.
Oh, yeah, that's
with
right.
their address and size so we can send them their stuff.
That's right. Yeah. If you do join the Patreon club, $25 pledge, make sure, or even a $9 tier, make sure to message us on Patreon your t-shirt size and your address. All right. If you do the $9, just send us your address and we'll send you some stuff. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So there you go. And we also have Cash App. $, Rock and Roll James, and we want to thank El Jefe.
JC El Jefe.
Yeah, for sending us some donations this afternoon,
Yes,
man. He
thank
really
you so
enjoyed
much.
the 6 o'clock Tetera Tuesday mix. And we also have Venmo at Rock and Roll James. So there you go, man. I got all that out of the way, and now it's time to introduce the beauty of the show, the producer, Rally. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. I see a lot of people on the chat box already, so thank you guys so much for joining us. It's me and Rock today, so bear with me if I can't chat too much, but I will get in and chat for a little while. But thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday.
Yeah, and guys, come on, you gotta admit she's looking fabulous tonight on a Tuesday, no?
Thank you.
Put that camera on you again, baby.
You
You look beautiful. Your hair looks amazing.
It's okay.
Yeah,
They already saw me.
Yeah. I love the way you're dressed.
I was telling you earlier, I'm like, man, I don't get dressed anymore, like, because I'm stuck at home. But that's okay. I love being home.
Well, that's why I created this show, baby, just so you can dress up.
I like dressing up for the show, so it's okay.
And I think everybody else does too. By the way, we have some women that are watching as well. And I always say, you know, you have a very, very good hand at makeup, you know.
Oh, thank you.
And you have a wonderful touch. And Felicia does too. I mean, you and Felicia should maybe try some sort of makeup program, you know, a 30-minute show a week and just, you know, talk makeup and the kind of stuff. And get some females to get on, and even some other guys that might need a little makeup to cover their, you know, wrinkles and stuff, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Victor Martinez, La Menina, Jonathan Riojas, JB, Manu Garcia, Jesse Corpus, Carmen Benavides. Hi, Carmen. How you doing? Anibar and Raymond Garza. And Raymond says, just leave the camera there on you. Señor Rudo, I haven't worn a full pair of pants in 6 months. Puro basketball shorts.
Oh, my goodness.
Es todo. Jetco Transport, hands down to Rally.
Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are so cute.
All right. Coming up later in the show from Los Angeles, we're going to be talking with California actor, musician J.D. Mata, who is originally from here, from McAllen, Texas. And I don't know if you all remember, you know, KRGV Channel 5 News. There was an anchor. Her name was Leti Valadez. She was an anchor for many, many years. And then she went to Austin, I think. And then she came back. And then she retired. And then she went back again. And then I think she's totally retired now. But her brother is J.D. Mata. And I remember meeting him the very first time at La Plaza Mall. He was at a piano and he was playing, and he had a band, and you know, so it was back like 1983, 82. When you see him, you probably won't even, you know, believe he's that age. But he's in Los Angeles. He's been over there for a while, so I'm very interested in talking to him, and we'll be doing that in just a little bit. Okay, but right now we've got Rally's headlines. Yeah.
Ooh, give me a second. Hello, everyone. I'm trying to do it all, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Pasihuate, Tommy Gutierrez, La Familia Gutierrez from Houston, South Houston.
Yes.
Mark Anthony as well. Big shout out to them. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, man.
Yes.
It really helps us out a lot. So what do you got, sweetheart?
Okay, so my headline reads, Hold on. Silenced frontline doctors hold Capitol Hill press conference to challenge big tech. Okay, so American doctors held a Capitol Hill press conference on Tuesday to address the censorship of their press conference Monday by Facebook, YouTube, Google, and Twitter. Monday night, quote, Facebook removed a video which was the top performing Facebook post in the world Monday afternoon of a press conference in D.C. held by the group America's Frontline Doctors and organized that was organized and sponsored by the Tea Party Patriots. So let me go ahead and change the image real quick. So this was them. Twitter restricted, Twitter subsequently, removed footage of the press conference because of the views and opinions on coronavirus and the medical response to this pandemic. So, they took it down. They took down this doctor. She's originally from Nigeria, I believe, right? So she's originally from Nigeria, and she, when we saw the video, she was so passionate, with everything that she was saying and how, the medicine hydroxychloroquine was
hydroxychloroquine, along with zinc and another medicine.
A combination of others was extremely effective in her patients, and she gave us a breakdown.
She claimed over 350.
Yeah, it was 350, and so that video of that image that you guys saw right now, they took it down, and so they censored it. And what was even crazier was that Don Trump Jr.
His Twitter was restricted.
His Twitter was restricted as well. And, because he retweeted it and he shared it. He shared it. He shared it. And so they suspended his account as well. And it said, I guess the explanation was that the post had violated its COVID-19 misinformation rules.
Apparently, Twitter restricted Donald Trump Jr.'s account, not senior, junior.
Junior, yes.
After he shared the viral video of Monday's Capitol Hill conference, asserting that he violated the policy on spreading misleading and potential harmful information related to COVID-19. Now, it's interesting because people were messaging this video to everybody. I mean, I got 25 people sending me the video Monday night, and I watched it and I was like, wow, there have been, people have said, other doctors have also said that hydroxychloroquine was a working medication. But I remember Sam Daly at the station, he brought over a doctor from Nuevo Progreso, Pulido. And he came and he was going to get interviewed with Sam. And he was mentioning that they were hoarding that medication across the border, citizens and stuff. They were buying it all up. So the thing about it is that it's just weird how these tech agencies, these tech giants, are able to. I mean, we can't play the video, folks. I mean, if we play the video, I've got it.
Yeah.
YouTube would probably just strike us, and we can't use the strike because then they'll end up just tearing us off the platform. And so we're at the mercy. I mean, of being careful with what. It's not about bad words now, or it's not about violence or anything like that. I mean, some of that stuff even comes out on YouTube, and that's no problem. But the interesting thing is that when I got the video, I recorded it with my screen. Like you screenshot pictures, and I recorded it and I posted it on my personal Facebook page on Facebook. So it was on, and by the time I got up in the morning, there was like 300 shares of it, like 100 comments. And so I was like, okay, cool. I mean, people are watching it, and I'm not saying it. I mean, I think every person should have a right to be able to view this and make a decision for themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go and start dumping, hydroxychloroquine into their body, or they're going to. But everybody should have the ability to be able to see this and then make a decision for themselves, right? I mean, isn't that what America is, right?
Yeah, and I also feel. Aside from us as the patients, I feel that it's the physician's job. Like, don't they have like a code of ethics, that they have to abide by? And, they really do have to provide, competent medical care to the patients, and you have to keep in mind, people are passing away because of this. And if there's something, if there's something that could prevent, a death like that, to me, I feel that a physician should try what they feel might work, And
apparently,
and I think this medication, in combination with others, like you were saying earlier, it has the potential to work, and she's out there, and it's the video was gave me chills because she was so passionate about it, and I almost wanted to cry because she, they are. I mean, they're putting their whole livelihood on the line for this, and to them, it's like we're doing the right thing, but they fear reprisal,
retribution,
or retaliation,
or they get fired. People get fired nowadays.
I think about it, if it's our parents, parents, I would want, what are the options? I want my parents to survive from this, and if the doctor sits there and says, well, there is this medication, but I don't think I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna prescribe it, or we're not gonna try it on them, but it's like, they know, and so it's pretty, I think that this whole pandemic has become extremely politicized, and, and I'm disappointed, I'm disappointed because so many people are not making it. And then just the thought of those people, especially the elderly, they're passing away on their own. That just breaks my heart completely. And so if there's something that can be done, man, like just give it a shot, but like I said, I think it's all politicized now.
I just don't know why.
Someone needs to just stop and like, okay, what is in the best interest of this person's life?
I just don't understand why they have to take it down. Check out what happened to me. I posted it, and all of a sudden, at about 12 o'clock noon today, I get a notification from Facebook that I posted something that was against their, policy. And I am banned for 7 days. So they took the video down. That's and they crazy. Banned me for 7 days. So I can't get back on Facebook, on my profile. Fortunately, I've got a couple of them, Yep. Yeah. And then there's this other social media platform called Parler, where there's a little more, leeway for freedom of speech. But I just, it's interesting. I think people should have the option to be able to see this and be able to make a decision for themselves, Right. And she wasn't the only person standing at a podium. There were doctors surrounding her. It was in front of the Capitol. So obviously, and then this happened to some doctors from California as well. Yeah. There were some doctors in California, 2 guys, and they had the same thing happen to them, with Google and YouTube and then Facebook and Twitter. And not only do they get, their video taken down, anybody that puts it up gets a strike as well. So I mean, they're just like going after everybody. Yeah, and so that's what I mentioned a little while ago. The doctors fear the retaliation. They fear this reprisal, and it's like they shouldn't. Because they have to follow their code of ethics or whatever that's put forth. From the American Medical, whatever it's called, Association or whatever it's called. So it's like you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right. I mean, and that's why you're a physician. That's why you're a doctor. You have to. I don't know. I just feel that the big tech is really, they're really censoring. Well, it's interesting because for political gain. If you really look at it, I mean, these tech guys, I mean, they're billionaires. And they got a lot of money. Yes. And they're able to shut down anybody that they don't agree with. I mean, and then everybody's so used to these platforms. I mean, I don't know what people would do if they were saying that Twitter might start charging because they haven't made enough ad revenue like they usually do. And I would assume because of all the, all the censorship. Not just the censorship, but, Twitter. Puro desmadre Twitter. ¿Entiendes? So if they would charge me a subscription to be on Twitter, I'm out. I'm not going to pay for that, because I'm going to pay to get censored. I don't think so. So it's just, I don't know what you guys think out there. George Quintanilla, Victor Martinez. Victor Martinez says it's all about money. Yeah. Raymond Rose says it's Zuckerberg. El Jefe says the doctors that agreed with the medication were fired also. Yeah, but why? It's like they shouldn't have to fear retaliation. They should not be, Tommy Diaz says that was a setup by right-wing media with a doctor with absurd claims. Now, everything in the medical field is absurd until it's, the thing about it, if it's absurd and it was an absurd claim, are you saying that they didn't actually save 350 patients with that medication? I did see. I mean, I did see. If they didn't, then they're lying. It is absurd. But if they did, well, there's some truth to it. Why should they be torn down from being able to relay that information that they've learned through being in the hospital, working with COVID patients, right? And this lady isn't the first one. There was some other one. No, there was. I think it's a group. It's a group of physicians that work together with her side by side. And so I did see on her Twitter page that she's she's calling out her patients, like, please help us. Like, this is a movement. If you were treated at our physician's office and you got released and, you're doing fine, please make a video or send
send out a tweet or type out a tweet and back this up, because they need their patients to,
Carmen Benavides says, my opinion on hydroxychloroquine is safe. I have an immune disorder. I've been taking this med as in my medical treatment for many years and doing well. But yes, it's in the best interest of everyone and their doctor. And that's another thing. Like, this medication has been around for decades. It treats lupus. It treats malaria. And as far as side effects, it doesn't seem to have much. If it had really bad side effects, they'd tell you about it, or they would have just put it out of the market. So this has been a medication that's been around for a while, and apparently with in a mixture infusion with 2 other medications, it's able to help people, according to this woman, right, for COVID. So the thing is, I don't see why she can't be able to get on a platform and discuss her experience with it and patients, and for us to be able to absorb it and see it and hear it and make our own decision, whether it's right wing, left wing, whatever.
Right, just like we're kind of forced to watch all the the left wing people and spew all their mess. Okay, well, so can
and
she,
not even that. It's just like we're forced to see what they want us to see.
That's what gets me so upset.
These Twitters, these Facebook, we're forced to see what they're and now we've got TikTok. I mean, everybody's on TikTok now, and I was watching and I was like, I've never seen adults act so silly.
Oh my God, puro mugrero. Like one of the fans chatted the last time, puro mugrero. Oh my gosh. But
I mean, if that makes them happy, it makes them happy. It's a good thing. It's an outlet for them, right? And but I don't know what you all think about this, but I honestly think I don't believe in censorship. I've been in radio for many, many years. I don't believe in this cancel culture. The way they were going after Goya, boycotting them, and the way they took the name off the Washington Redskins and stuff like that. I mean, it's stuff that has been around for a long time, and it's and then the statues and all that stuff. But I went through the era when they were trying to cancel heavy metal back in the early 80s.
Oh, I remember that.
Where the heavy metal musicians had to go to Congress and fight their right for their art. It was like, it's freedom of speech. It's art. It's an art form, heavy metal music. So then, and that was Tipper Gore, and that was Al Gore's wife. And then they had, they created the PMRC. And so there was like the evangelical right that were doing that. They were trying to shut down heavy metal. So what they came up with was a parental advisory sticker on the music, on the CDs. So you'd get a CD and it'd have that little thing that tells you there's some adult content, there's some bad words or stuff like that. So there was just like a little warning on there. And then during the 90s, they were going after Howard Stern. I mean, Howard Stern had to pay, the company he worked with had to pay millions of dollars in fines for certain stuff he was doing on the air. So there's always been that type of censorship and canceling and shutdown. And Howard had to go into satellite radio, and he was able to thrive and do whatever the hell he wants on that because it's a paid subscription type of thing, Yeah. But I guess, when you're a part of a platform where it's free to people, and that's the thing about it. YouTube is free, but you can also pay $10, $20 and have that service so you can have that music without ads and stuff like that. So if you're paying for it, I wouldn't see why it's like HBO. I remember going as a kid to my aunt's house and watching HBO and Cinemax, and then they'd have that Cinemax After Dark, and I'm a kid, I'm watching that shit, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see how this goes, and it's just, I honestly think it's because of it's an election year, It's an election year, and it's really heated, man.
Yeah,
they want Trump out of there,
Yeah, and aside from all of that, I just want them to just focus on getting people healthy and saving lives at the end of the day. Like, all politics and whatever aside, just focus on us and our health, and
right now the worse better. It is, the better it is for a certain party, and the better it is for another party. So there's going to be people that are going to, and it depends on, and it's like I was freaking out because like that Nueces County lady that said 85 babies and, had COVID, and everybody went crazy on that Saturday on Twitter, and they were like shocked and, oh my God. And they didn't specify that it, within the span of like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it was a cumulative count.
And that's another thing. I mean, they'll say there's 10,000 cases of coronavirus in Hidalgo County or whatever, but they never put, how many have recovered. And you have to deduct the recoveries from that caseload because they just give you the total amount of cases no matter what or how many have gotten out of it. And so sometimes I'll read lower and I'll see the people that recovered and I'll deduct it from the cases and it like slashes it in half, sometimes even less than that. So, there's just so much information out there. And I think we should have the freedom to be able to watch and see and judge as humans. And some guys were saying, nah, man, que esto lo otro es puro pedo. Like, well, all you have to do is not take that medication if you have COVID. Si te pega COVID, don't take it.
Yeah.
Don't take. I mean, if they tell you hydroxychloroquine, no quiero. Yeah. No, I don't want that because I don't believe in it. That's your choice.
That's what it is.
That is your choice. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, anyway.
That got me a little hot.
Let's just play some jazz.
Yes.
Cálmate, rock. Estás poniendo colorado, carnal. Yeah. Shout out to Gio Arteaga. It's in the Bible true, and also the aliens are going to show up also. It's you believe in ancient aliens.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, the UFOs have been making headlines lately. This Air Force guy was talking about it. A ver, Raúl, everything goes back to Agenda 21, Raúl Alvarado. Manu Garcia, the live stream sponsored by Dr. Testosterone and the Rene La Fierra Flores. Dr. T, papá,
he's getting us back on, online towards our script.
We've got some guys watching baseball right now. Rangers are losing to the back. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I think Astros are playing tonight as well. Carmen Benavides, she goes, yes, it's true. People are trying to cancel history, but when it comes to the dollar bill, that's a different story. Well, you never know. I mean, they might cancel all the money, period, because a lot of places are wanting to go cashless. Supposedly there was a coin shortage. Yeah. And then now everybody wants that cryptocurrency. They want you to just pay with a freaking phone or with with your card or whatever.
Bitcoin.
So I honestly think that cash money will be something that will disappear, and they won't have to worry about putting those presidents on the dollars and on the money, and therefore people won't have to remember those presidents. Okay. Let me see. Juan Regalado, shout out. Junior Salinas, Jonathan Riojas. And I'm afraid that just us talking about this might cause us some problems here. I hope not. If it does, pues ni modo. Damian Duran Cinemax, Cochino Rock. Hey, man, I was in 4th grade, carnal. My wife, I told her when she's a 4th grade teacher, right?
Oh, my God.
I told her, man, those little boy students aren't going to miss your class. And she goes, they don't think like that. I'm like, I was in 4th grade once, mamita. And let me tell you, I wouldn't miss your class. Perfect attendance, mama. Perfect attendance. And I'd be the one causing you the most trouble because I want the most attention, ¿verdad?
Of course.
Eso.
Of course.
Mario Flores, pareces tomate, right? Rayman Horta, es lo que faltó, Rayman Horta, para hablar de este pedo, no está desgraciado. Let's try to call him. Maybe he'll answer, man. Right? This is something that we're just doing.
You're going to fire him up. You're going to get fired up.
You think he'll answer?
I don't know. Did you take your high blood pressure pills?
I don't know, but let me see what he's got to say about this. Raymond Horta.
They should put Ramon Ayala on the $20 bill.
A ver si contesta Raymond.
Raymond Garza.
Are you
Javier
there?
Aguilar, thank you for joining us from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
No, he's not going to answer.
Goodbye.
Okay.
No contestó Raymond.
Okay.
Let's call Fish. Let's see if she's got her celebrity thing. All right. Whoa. Don't forget, we're going to call JD Mata in Los Angeles in a bit.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Fish? How you doing?
Not much. Just here at my grandparents' house, helping them out.
How's everything going over there?
It's going pretty. Still without AC and without electricity, but
Man,
we're doing pretty good.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, we had to take all of their food to our house in the meantime, so it wouldn't go to waste.
Yeah. Well, I hope. Have you all heard anything about any estimated time of reactivation of your light?
I think August 1st is supposedly the time.
That's Friday.
Your AEP is supposed to, I guess, come towards mission, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so until then, we're kind of just here trying to make it work.
We're just talking about that video that got taken down by those doctors and stuff, and I was getting a little bit hot.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, "Calmate, drink a cold." I think this is what's doing it. I got some Red Bull in here, man. That stuff, man. Forget about it. Take it away from me, baby.
Yeah.
So
that was crazy, and then Facebook's banning everybody that's sharing it.
Dude, I'm banned for 7 days.
Yeah.
7 days. But you know what?
That's a little suspicious.
But you know what? I mean, people can still message it because everybody that's been messaging it, they still have it. What do you got for celebrity? Well, now it's time for Felicia's celebrity headline. All right.
So, actually, right now, Ellen DeGeneres.
Hold on. Let me get this music down. So, a little bit slower. What's going on?
I don't know. There's a lot of people that know who Ellen DeGeneres is, and she's very well known, for her comedy. And she also has her daily show called the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Excuse me. Well, she's currently under internal investigation after a few workplace complaints. The show has faced allegations of being a toxic work environment. The Ellen DeGeneres Show is reportedly under internal investigation by parent company Warner Media after a number of high-profile complaints regarding a workplace culture circulated online. Citing sources, Variety reports that a memo was sent to the show's staffers last week announcing that Warner Media's employee relations group has teamed with a third-party organization to interview current and former employees. Among the recent stories regarding the show was a report this month from BuzzFeed News in which former and current staff members alleged that producers have created a quote-unquote toxic work environment based on bullying and fear. So kind of crazy to me because I would watch her show. I still do when I have time. And her show, I mean, when she's on there, she's basically promoting, treat others with respect, be kind to one another is her slogan after every show. When she closes out her show, she's like, I'm Ellen DeGeneres, and please be kind to one another. That's what she closes her show out all the time with. So to hear, I've been seeing a lot of stuff in the news lately where people are coming up with stories. I don't know if they're true or not, that she's actually not the nicest person. And there's been a lot of complaints about her. There was recently a Twitter user had posted a tweet, and he kind of posted, "Hey, let's make a thread of all the times Ellen was mean to another celebrity on her show." And so people started finding interviews of celebrities, and there was somewhere, I think she had somebody that was allegedly pregnant. I want to say it was Mariah Carey. And she was basically trying to force it out of Mariah Carey if she was pregnant or not. And everybody was complaining and saying, well, that's not something professional. She was kind of pressuring her to announce something that she wasn't ready to announce. And so a lot of people started, saying, okay, Ellen's not the nicest person. She's not really a great person as she seems on television and the way she acts, on social media, and that she's very caring. And so after that, there was some complaints from her employees that actually work on the show, former employees as well, stating that the workplace was just hell, that there was a lot of bullying. She was very mean. It was a very toxic environment. One makeup guru named Nikki Tutorials, actually, she's Dutch. I don't know what country she's from, but she flew over here to the U.S. to do an interview with Ellen. And when she went back, she said it was the worst thing ever, that she wished she would have never even done it, that Ellen treated her very badly. So they're finally going into an investigation on her show, on the Ellen show, and they're going to find out, I guess, what's really going on behind the scenes, you know?
Well, the thing about it is those shows, it's very stressful. I mean, because it's a nationally syndicated show. I mean, we've got a YouTube show, and you know how stressed out we were before the show.
Oh,
sometimes,
yeah, definitely.
Right? and you would get kind of like a little bit annoyed and then rally, and it got a little tense. And I would always say, "Hey, y'all calm down," because we've got a different environment because it's YouTube. But for her, that's probably got some major sponsorships. I'm sure she's very tense and stressed about, so it might make her lash out, sometimes. But every work environment has its challenges. You used to watch the show a lot, didn't you, Raleigh? You used to love watching Ellen before, no?
I would just watch the little clips that she has on her YouTube channel of some little blonde girl.
Ellen Tube,
yeah, some little blonde girl that would always come on with like these big poofy fancy wancy dresses. But I would never. I mean, it comes out at like what, 2?
Yeah. We wouldn't be able to watch it because you're working.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it comes out like it.
And you never recorded it on when?
Nope, never.
I remember one time I think you were watching it or we were watching it, and she comes in and she's dancing, and she had this thing where she would dance and she'd spread her legs and just go through the table would go through between her legs, and she'd like.
Oh yeah, like when she would enter, like that was her.
Yeah, she does her dance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would imagine that any type of program like that has its challenges as far as everybody needs to be on time. I remember when I did a TV boxing event. It was my first time I ever did it. It was ESPN Friday Night Fights, and I was ring announcing over there at the Sunset Station in San Antonio. And even over here at the rally, remember when we did Combate Americas? I mean, how challenging was that meeting we had before?
The production meeting, it was like almost 3 hours long with like just nonstop back and forth.
And it got a little tense in there. And there was some guy that one of the guys that works inside the big old trailer with all the little TV screens and does all the producer. He was kind of the more mellow one of all of them, but everybody else was kind of like, we need to do it like this and this and then this right here.
And I think he's the one that has to stay calm, because imagine if he would, would panic,
And you know what was crazy is because they were like, for like 25-30 minutes, they were tossing all kinds of stuff. Rally was taking down notes on her phone like, and then then we're gonna do this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that, and then we got to do this and this time and this and that, and it was like, man. And then at the end of the meeting, they turn around. Okay, so basically, we just have to have the first 5 minutes of the pay-per-view, down pat, and after that, we're just gonna wing it. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Remember, and the thing is with you have to wing it in those events because they're fights, they're cage fights, MMA fights,
and you don't know how long the fights are going to.
Yeah, you don't know. So then they gave me a little earpiece, and there was a guy running the board over there, and they'd call me the hype man. Hype man, we need you to do this. Hype man, we need to do that. All right, hype man, we're gonna go to the and then hype man, coming up after this fight, we're gonna go to the text contest, and then we're going to go to this introduction. And I said, okay. And then like 2 minutes later, fight man, okay, changes. We're going to go to this, and we're going to go to... They kept changing my shit every...
You really have to be paying attention and on top of things.
Yeah.
100%.
But it was so much fun. It was so much fun here with Alberto Del Rio and Tito Ortiz and all that. But I can imagine Ellen DeGeneres' show is...
and that's every day with the show. I mean, with
I
her
know.
Show, they do that every single day. And that's why I've never not liked her. Like I said, I was a fan of her. I still am. I just, don't really watch her usually every day. But, we don't know the situation. That's why they're investigating. Maybe it's just going to be a few people that are kind of just sensitive. You never know. They might just not be able to handle that kind of work environment.
Yeah.
Or maybe she really, did something, lashed out. Maybe her workplace is toxic. Who knows? We'll find out in time. But But yeah, it's just crazy to actually, see a big TV show actually go under investigation for something like that. I've never seen that happen before. I personally have not. So
all right,
it's interesting to see how it's going to come out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the celebrity news. That's Felicia's celebrity news right here on
No
hashtag
problem.
PVT Live. We find a way to do it. Even though you're not here with us, hopefully you'll be here with us next Tuesday. Granted, there isn't any type of catastrophe, any other
Hopefully
catastrophe.
not.
Right?
Let's not jinx it, Dad.
Yeah. Okay. Bueno, bye.
All right, love you guys.
God
Bye.
bless you, Mama. Love
Bye.
you. All right. So, we've got JC El Jefe. What if she retires, loses a show, and puts how many on unemployment line? That's another thing. I mean, that show employs probably a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Big D, maybe Ellen knows the cure for the virus. Well, if she says it on the social media, she'll be deplatformed and she'll be banned for life. Manu Garcia, Rock, did you meet Armando Almazan on KGBT? Do you know he passed? Why he passed? I didn't even know he passed away. I worked with him. Wow, I'll have to call some friends about that. Money and too much education changes people. Caso Cerrado rally. Oh, there's a show called Caso Cerrado, right?
Yeah, with the judge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's take a break.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go to our sponsor, and we'll be right back. We've got an interview all the way to Los Angeles, California. J.D. Mata, actor, musician, right here on hashtag PBT Tuesday Night Live.
In response to our current COVID-19 situation, Dr. T's Primary Care is offering discounted prices on our IV vitamin infusion therapy for all frontline workers, law enforcement, and any male or female patient looking to improve their immune system. Not only do we offer PCR testing for COVID, but we also offer safe and natural solutions to improve your health. Call 956-441-2188 and ask about our discounted IV vitamin infusion therapy. Follow us on Facebook for up-to-date information. Call 956-441-2188.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. T's Primary Care for Men. Go check them out. You'll be happy you did. All right, so Dario Puig, shout out. Alvia Real, Carmen Benavides, thank you. Alfredo Rios, saying hi, Rally.
Hi, Alfredo Rios.
Lion 21-0. Puro Pore Pete Valderas. He just got married, folks. He's asking how Puro Pore is. He just got married. It's like unofficial, right? But official. Because he still hasn't done the celebration because he can't because of the COVID.
Yeah.
So he asked me to be the best man, babe.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know. Thanks.
Yeah. And he asked me how much I charge him. I told him, dude, it's on the house, man.
Oh my goodness.
El show está machine. Raúl Alvarado, muchas gracias. Let's see. Juan Regalado, puro test. Yes, sir. Dr. T. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, J.D. Mata, let's give him a call. And he should be answering.
Hello?
JD.
Yo.
Hang tight, man, because we're going to play a promotional for your show, okay?
Okay, great.
All right. So hang tight. I just wanted to make sure I had you on the line before we go into... okay, brother. Okay. Hang tight.
You going to do the promo for Rock God?
For your show, the YouTube movie.
Chasing Steeples. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Chasing Steeples. Ladies and gentlemen.
Is this the one with the dark screen?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I wanted to make sure.
Go for it, sweetheart.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not homeless. I'm houseless, man. The street is my home. I, too, will only live to be 40. An epiphany? I just about had a heart attack running over here trying to save you.
Save me? Are you kidding me? The guy who's gonna die at 40 was gonna save me? He's broken up with the girl he left me for. I have to go back.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
So how you
Sure,
doing, JD?
Keep a hold, Dad. Rock and roll James in the house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, JD, man, it's awesome to talk to you, man. I haven't spoken to you probably since you worked at Dillard's, I think. Did you work at Dillard's back in the day?
Oh yes, I sure did, man. It was retail, baby. That's how we survived back in the day, brother.
Yeah,
We were
dude.
retail.
That was 1982, 83, 84? What year was that, man?
Dude, that was 80. Yeah, 85, 86.
Yeah.
Because those were the years that I was flunking out in college, I remember.
Yeah.
But I did graduate from college, but the first 2 years were a little poquito de escándalo, bro.
Yeah. Well, you were a musician, or you still are. I mean, back then you had a band. What was the name of your band back then?
Band.
Yeah.
I had a band, Grupo Eternidad. We were a Tejano band.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me about writing my own music. I said, well, I've always, as you know, Rock, for all intents and purposes, we had to write there was no established Tejano artist really. We kind of pioneered the genre, you know, Grupo Mazet and remember Romance?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there weren't like songs for us. There were a few of the standards like Las Nubes and all that, but if you were a Tejano artist, you wrote your own stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I was writing my own music, playing Tejano music with my band called Grupo Eternidad. And then I played with, I was the singer for La Ganga de Mando San Roman for about a year también. That was a lot of fun.
So you were with Mando San Roman in the Ganga, bro?
I was. I sang with him for about a year.
Wow.
Yeah, some great memories with Mando, man. We did a
Yeah.
couple of livestock shows and singing in front of thousands and thousands of people. It was a tremendous experience.
And when did this happen that I obviously, you know, I knew you wanted to be a singer and you wanted to be in the music business and the music industry. What happened in those late 80s? Because I didn't see you for a while. I mean, did you leave in the 80s, the Rio Grande Valley, or what happened?
Okay, so what happened was I got into, so I had my Tejano band, right?
Yeah.
And then we were starting to do really, really well. I remember Mando was playing our songs on the radio, and then basically what transpired was the band that I founded, that I discovered. I was the front guy. There was some stuff that went on, and the band ended up breaking up.
Yeah. And
right when we were about to break in, and the band broke up, and then at the time I was singing with the university choir, and we did a concert, and after the concert we went to a little ball called JT's that had just opened up. It was a piano bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already played piano, and I sat down and I played a couple of songs for the choir members after the show, and the owner of the bar, John Simon, was with JT's at the time, said, "Hey, do you want to play here?" And long story short, I ended up playing piano bar there for about 7 years. So I went from being a Tejano artist to being a solo musician in terms of piano. And then it was a time where the sequences came in,
mm-hmm.
where I was like a one-man band, bro.
Yeah, you could do the drums and all that on there, and the bass,
all of that stuff.
Programming.
I did that but in the back of my mind, Rock, I always wanted to come to Los Angeles. I always wanted to come to Hollywood and be in movies.
Yeah. Hey, you know, John Simon still has Simon Says. I mean, that little place has brought in a lot of music, and it's really it's always kept the local live music scene very vibrant. You know, I mean, many bars and clubs have gone and come and gone, but Simon's has always been there. And John Simon's really been a very an awesome asset to the music community here in the Rio Grande Valley. So when you were with JT's with Simon doing the piano thing, was that in the early 90s or late 80s?
Yes, that was the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, and that's when Tejano was barely, man. I mean, that's when it started, man, climbing up with all these record labels coming down and signing them up, man, right?
That was the time. That was when our band broke up. was the time where just before all of that, where it blew up big time.
Yeah. And so the 90s, you did your piano thing with John Simon. And then what happened? You decided to just pack up your bags and leave, or what? Where did you go?
Yeah. Well, before I forget, I just want to thank you for having me on the show, Rock. And you're a treasure, man. There in the Valley, brother.
Thank you.
You're like royalty, man.
Oh.
You know, you've covered everything. You know, I remember hearing you on the radio, and then your show is just so amazing, dude. Throughout this pandemic, you know, I discovered your show on YouTube, and I go, wow, this is equal to or better than any show I've ever seen here in Los Angeles or anywhere in the world, bro.
Wow.
So
That's
I just
awesome.
want to just give my sincere kudos to your show and to bring me on board.
Dude, you're going to make me cry, bro.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
man.
those kind words.
You're a legend, man. You're a legend.
Yeah.
You guys are you have an amazing show, Rally and Fish. And by the way, when I see Leonardo DiCaprio here, bro, I'm gonna get an autograph, especially for Felicia.
Oh, dude, she'll die, bro.
She's gonna pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him every once in a while. I see him, bro.
You
So
know,
I'll have to. I got your back. I got your back, Fish.
yeah. Thank you so much, man. Hey, you know,
Yeah.
and I really am. You know, God works in mysterious ways. You know, and
Yeah.
you know, he. You know, this pandemic came, and I you know, I was really busy with my band, and we were performing all over the place, and I never really had time to really push my YouTube and creative juices and talents on the YouTube channel. And
Yes.
once we were shelter in place, you know, I was blessed enough to bring in my wife and my daughter and now my son, and we decided, I mean, we created this platform that's just been growing, and thanks to the fans and their support as well. And the reason that I love having something like this is that I can be able to call somebody like you and talk to you and you know, expose you to the masses or the people that are down here, because I know a lot of you're from the Valley, bro. A lot of people here in South Texas, they remember you from back in the day. They remember La Ganga. They remember, you know, Eternidad. They remember JD Mata. They went and bought some colognes from you or whatever you were selling over there, you know, or ties or shoots at Dillard's. I mean, and then your sister was part of the fabric of our culture here with you know, the KRGV News anchors as well, Leti Valadez, right?
Dude, I was known as I didn't have my own name. I was Letty's little brother, bro.
Yeah.
I was Letty Valadez in drag, brother. We
Yeah.
looked so much alike. I kid you not, man. I had to come to Los Angeles I always told myself I'm going to go to Los Angeles not to find myself, but to create myself.
Yeah. Did Letty in some form or fashion inspire you to do things like this? You know, because what she did was almost, you know, it's almost as being in the entertainment field, but it's news. You know what I mean? Did she in some ways inspire? She's old. She's your older sister, right?
She's my older sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's older by 5 years.
Yeah. Did you see in her what she was doing as well, and being in front of a camera and all that? Did that kind of inspire you as well, bro?
Absolutely. My sister has always been an inspiration. She's an amazing singer, bro. I don't know if you've ever heard her sing, but she's like tremendous. And the fact that when she started with Channel 5, bro, she started off as an intern, and she was emptying wastebaskets.
Yeah.
And then one of the reporters didn't show up one day, and there was a plane that crashed, a little Cessna, and they sent her out to do the story, and they fell in love with her from that point on. And she was doing the morning news, like early in the morning, like 5 a.m. for many years. And I saw that she worked her way up, and she was in a world where, I mean, there weren't a lot of women in that industry. And dude, I have to be honest, if there's any woman in this world that I have the fear of God of, that I'm scared of, it's my sister, bro.
Yeah. You know what,
I mean,
what always amazed me of your sister when I would see her in the news is her improvisational skills and her method of being able to, like, if something was going wrong, she could just give her the camera and she'll talk and she'll bide the time while everything gets fixed. I mean, that's something that I noticed from your sister, and of course, this was down the line after a few years of as anchor of Channel 5 News. But what is she doing nowadays? I mean, I know this interview is about you, but it's interesting to find out. Did she retire or what?
that's part of my story, bro. I mean, no, she did retire, and she's living in Austin now.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's happily retired, and she's we talk periodically, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
But she put in a lot of wonder. She was a phenomenon there in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah,
definitely.
celebrity, man. Celebrity status, bro. I mean, big
Yep,
time.
yep.
Yeah. And, everybody grew up with her on the news, and she
Grew
was
up
real
with
good
her.
at doing it. Yeah. So, you were doing the piano thing, and in the mid-'90s, you decided to pack up and leave to L.A., or where did you go?
So, Rock, what for me, the first memory I have of a movie, dude. Remember the Palace? I think it was on Main Street. Well, no, you're from Mercedes, right? I was from McAllen.
Yeah, pero pues I knew McKellen pretty well, brother. Yo andaba donde quiera, carnal, en la calle. Yo era un callejero, carnal.
También, I'm sure que nos topamos somewhere, bro, but we don't remember.
Oh, yeah. So the Palace, was that a theater, or what was it, Dan?
Yeah, so the Palace was a theater. I was like 4 years old, and I remember it being waiting outside to get inside, and I remember sticking my head between the cracks of the doors and the nice air conditioner, right?
Mhm.
And then I remember when they opened the doors and walking in, and I remember seeing the carpet, the paisley carpet,
Yeah.
and walking in to seeing my first movie, and then the big screen lit up, bro, and the movie was Dracula.
Ooh.
And I remember looking at that movie where everybody around me was scared. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Was it the Dracula with Jack Palance, or was it Peter Cushing, or was it
Christopher Lee?
Christopher Lee. Oh man, he was a good one, bro.
He was a good one.
Yeah.
And from that point on, Rock, I kid you not, a la pura neta, as we like to say in Puro Valley Talk, a la neta, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a filmmaker. The bug was instilled in me, and it was my little secret, because you can't go around and particularly in the Valley telling people, yeah, I'm going to go be an actor in Hollywood. They laugh you out of the bus, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was always my little secret, and I knew that eventually I was going to go there. So what would happen was I wanted to take off. I felt like I needed to get a college education first. And my dad would tell me, he goes, no, go now, mijo, after high school. I go, no, Dad, I gotta graduate from college. He goes, no, forget college. And I go, no, it was the opposite, right? And so after the 80, I graduated from college in 88. But at the time I was playing solo on the piano, and then I had the band for a little bit, then the band broke up. But what would happen, Rock, as you know, when you book a gig, sometimes you book like 4 months in advance, right? And they give you a deposit.
Yeah.
So it was that type of cycle where, okay, I'm going to go to LA, right? Let's say it's 1993. I'm going to go to LA, but I can't go for another year because I've already got gigs booked for next year, and I already got the deposit.
Yeah.
And then that's how I was paying rent and surviving. So that cycle kept going for years and years. And finally, in 99, bro, I'll never forget. I said, that's it. In 98, I said, I'm not going to take any more deposits. I'm not going to take any more. I'm going to follow my dreams, my aspirations, and that's to be an actor in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and I did. I moved to LA October 7th, 1999. I'll never forget. And I remember driving in, brother, and then the traffic. It was like 2 a.m, and it was bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
And there was a freaking traffic jam, and the first thing that came to my mind is like, oh, what have I done, right?
Yeah.
But then when I saw the city skyline, I knew I had arrived.
Yeah.
I knew I had arrived.
Wow.
I'll never forget that moment and from that point on, it was just I was auditioning and.
Did you ever take acting lessons before you headed out there, or had you dabbled in it at all, or this is just like something you just want? I'm going to take off to LA and I'm gonna start, dabbling in what I wanted to do and start and see what happens.
Well, I got the first lead in a play in the 6th grade. It was a Christmas play, right? And we were singing and dancing and acting and at that point I knew I wanted to be an actor, but I'll never forget that first time, Rock, we did our first show in the library, right? There at Seguin Elementary, McAllen, 6th grade, and Mr. Rodriguez was a music teacher. And I remember the first time I went on stage and looking at the audience and I fell in love with singing and acting, and I knew. But then football came along and sports, And then something really tragic happened, Rock. When I was in 7th grade, I auditioned for the talent show, bro, and I got in, right? And when I was singing, when the talent show came, if you can imagine, the whole gymnasium está lleno de all the kids, right? And all the students, and I started singing the song Yesterday, right? And then the microphone started feedbacking. And then my legs started to shake. I'd never been nervous before to sing in front of a group. My legs started, and my leg was shaking, bro. And then the microphone kept feedbacking more. And then I forgot the words of the song. Then they turn off the microphone. Then they turn off the song. And little bit, and I remember it was like slow motion, bro. Like slow motion in a movie. I saw one girl laugh on the left side. Then I saw a guy laugh on. Before you knew it, the entire gymnasium was laughing at me, brother. And so I just put the microphone down, and I walked out the door, and I ran home crying.
Oh yeah. Bien hurt.
Dude, it had a profound impact. I didn't want to perform anymore, man. And what happened was, my senior year in high school, when I had Eternidad, the singer of the band got mad at us before the show because we didn't learn a song that he wanted. And he dumped us right before the show, and we're like, what are we going to do? I go, well, I guess I'll just do it. I'll sing. And then I started singing again.
Yeah.
And so but in terms of like theater and acting and stuff, there was a theater company there in McAllen that had started. It was called the Orion Center, where Club X is, bro, where Club X was at.
Yeah. Club Mexico. We used to go there.
Yeah, exactly. That was originally built as a theater, and I belonged to that theater company.
Okay.
And so I did a little bit of, but in terms of formal acting lessons, I never took them until I moved here to Los Angeles.
And what was when you did move to Los Angeles without the formal acting lessons? Did you find it a little bit more challenging to find work, or was it did it kind of pan out after a while, or how did that work?
You know, it was challenging. What was challenging about it was more than anything for me, what it's always been, Rock, it's the anxiety associated with not even so much the being in the movie, but the audition, bro. That's the whole that auditioning and then acting in front of camera. It's like two different animals, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, ever since that episode were in 7th grade when my legs started shaking because of I've had issues with anxiety before performance. I never had, and so then what happened was I had to learn the auditioning craft.
Yeah.
Once it took a couple of years. Once I was able to master the craft of auditioning, then it's like second nature. As a matter of fact, the worst audition I ever had, Rock, was about 5 years ago. And the worst audition ever. And I remember walking out thinking, Chingao, you know what? This is it, man. I don't know. Am I having delusions of grandeur? Am I building castles in the sky? Then I get home, my agent calls me, says, hey, you booked the commercial. I go, what? She goes, yeah, you booked it. And then I go, and it was for the UPS store. And the director, Rock, that cast me, his name is Joe Pitka, and that guy is probably arguably the most famous, the greatest director ever in history. He's the one that directed all the Super Bowl commercials. He directed all the Michael Jackson commercials.
Wow.
And so what it did for me was, and it was weird because to me it seemed like the worst audition ever. But what it did was, that was a moment where I thought to myself, you know what? If Joe Pitka picked me, then ¿sabes qué? You know what? I'm in the right. I am where I need to be.
Yes.
You know, and that gave me all the confidence in the world. Where right now I feel like you know, throughout all the struggles, because I've been there since '99, and it was just a lot of ups and downs, and like I was on True Blood, and that's another, man. I could tell.
I was just going to ask you about that because I was going to segue into that because you did say that. You know, it's ironic, or it's not ironic. It's just interesting that the first movie that turned you on was a vampire movie with Christopher Lee, and then you end up on that True Blood series on HBO, right? It's HBO?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and that, you know how I ended up in that movie?
How?
Okay, like 6 months, Rock, before that, because I always had short hair, because I had long hair here in the Valley, and then I cut my hair short, and I kept it short.
Yeah.
So I always had short hair, and then my girlfriend at the time was from Tahoe originally. and we went to go visit her parents, and she said, "Let's go. I'm gonna take you skiing." I go, "I've never skied. I'm a freaking Mexican from McAllen. I don't ski." You know. And she goes, "No, I'll teach you. I'll teach you." So the first time down, bro, I don't know what all I remember is coming to, and I had crashed, and I landed, my face smacked the mountain, bro. And I had the whole side of my face was just. I remember coming to, and I say, and I go, and I telling her, she's looking at me like weird. I go, and I say to her, "Is it bad?" She goes, "No, it's not bad." I go, "Well, can I see it?" She goes, "No, don't look at it." "Well, you said it's not bad."
Oh my goodness.
And dude, the whole side of my face was like a grapefruit. Wow. And I was all cut up. So I couldn't audition. I could do anything like for 4 or 5 months until my face healed. So I let my hair grow, right? I was all depressed, and I was getting ready to go cut it. My hair got long, right? My face had healed up, and I was about to go cut it, and my agent calls me. He says, "You haven't cut your hair yet, have you?" I go, "No, I'm going to go right now." "Don't cut it." I just got a call from the producers of True Blood. They're looking for a brujo. And I told them I have the right guy with the hair. And go in there. The guy that they cast, because they had already cast somebody, but there was some contract disputes, and the guy they ended up not casting him because of a contract dispute. You got to go in there and don't even introduce yourself. Just be the character. You're this brujo in Mexico, and because you're not the audition. The first audition is going to be the callback, and so I got there. And I took directions from my agent, right? And there was like about 7 other dudes that looked just like me. You know, we all had long hair, kind of a interesting character look.
Yeah.
But when the director and the producers came in the room, they introduced themselves like themselves. But I remember what my agent said, and I was just like, I was the brujo, bro. They asked me a question, and I answered with mystique. You know, I was the character. And I remember them walking out and then come back in and goes, "Yeah, we want JD." And I was like, "Whoa!"
What? Wow.
And so since then I said, I'm just gonna leave my hair long. You know?
Well, it looks okay on you, bro. I'm serious.
Awesome.
I wish I could have long hair. Mine fell off, bro. Hey, hang on to it as long as you can, JD.
Hey, Rock. And when I remember when I got the part, I called my mom and I said, "Hey, I got this part, Mom." I go, "I got this really, really great part on HBO. As a brujo, I gotta go do research." And she goes, "No, mijo," because you're my uncle, my grand uncle. He was a brujo in Mexico. He was known as Don. What was his name? Don Julio, I think. I forget his name, but he goes it. And I go, "Mom, we had a great uncle. I had an uncle that was a brujo. Your great uncle, yes." I go, "Dude, wow. I got this. It's in my DNA." I got this. And sure enough, dude, when I was on set, Rock, I thought to I was the character. I had to go pee, but I thought to myself, you know what? Because in my character, he's dead, and in the show, he's dead, and he comes back as a ghost, as a brujo, right? And I'm thinking, when I'm on set, I go, wait a minute. If I'm a brujo and I'm dead, dead brujos don't pee, bro. So, so I was totally into character, man. For a whole day, I didn't pee. It was cold. I didn't wear a jacket because I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm walking around, bro. People, like, I disappeared, man. I was a ghost.
Yeah.
So after I did the performance, I kid you not, the director came up to me, goes, "Man," he goes, "you freaked everybody out." You know, I go, "Yes, sir, it's in my DNA."
Oh man! Hey, you know what? We have a clip from one of your YouTube episodes, the one that says "Rock God." Is that a movie?
Oh,
is
yeah.
that a like a movie clip, or we have the part where you get to the zirconia, or was it Rubik's zirconia?
Oh, the Cuban zirconia.
Cubic zirconia.
Yeah, it's really funny, dude. I love that little segment, and then the girl that you're with. We're gonna show it to our audience right now, and then we'll come back and talk about it. All right?
Okay.
All right. Check this out, man. This is a funny little clip with JD Mata from Los Angeles.
Look, the reason I need the money, it's my girlfriend's birthday, and I want to take her to a really nice dinner and buy her some flowers.
Diamonds
have this
are a girl's best friend.
my God. Are these diamonds for reals?
What do you think?
I think so.
They're not. Cubic zirconia shall never know the difference.
You think so?
I know so. I give you 150 for the guitar. You pay 125 for the fake ring, and you'll have 25 left over for nice flowers, a nice dinner at the food truck. Everybody wins.
Never, 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 never.
Cubic zirconia. This is not tacky at all because it comes from a place of romance and love.
I know, babe.
And the paper flowers because you know how I feel about climate change.
I know, babe.
Y es muy mexicana. And vegan tacos. Oh, you are so close to being the best boyfriend ever. So close. So close.
How close, babe?
Well, we'll let you watch
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Dude, is that another series you've got, or is it part of the series you're working on?
That's the series that I'm working on right now. People say, well, how come there aren't any, more Latinos on TV or more of this? And I said, well, I've always been the type to say, well, I'm gonna be that guy. The reason there aren't that many is because we're not creating content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just getting the bull by the horns rather than complaining. I'm just being proactive in terms of like making my movies and I feel like right now social media, there's so many platforms right now in the market, like Hulu and even Facebook produces shows and Netflix.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna create a show that I can get. I'm gonna try to get one of those platforms.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been seeing your work, and it looks good. It looks professional, and it's funny, and it's interesting, and it's like kind of relevant also as well. I like that scene right by the taco truck, and you all are having some tacos. And she's a vegan and climate change and all that stuff. And then like the guy tells you she'll never know it's fake. And then right away, Rubik's zirconia,
Cubic zirconia.
You can't get that past a woman. Are you kidding me?
It's all kind of loosely based on my musical experiences, bro.
So ladies and gentlemen, you need to go to his YouTube channel and follow him on Instagram, on social media, and support him 110%, especially if you're from South Texas, man. He's one of our South Texas boys, and he's in L.A., and you've been out there, Brad, almost 20 years already then, huh?
Yeah, coming on 20 years, yeah.
Wow.
October 7, 1999 is when I made the leap to the City of Angels.
Wow, man. And that takes a lot of courage, man, to just get up there and just follow your dream like you did. And, and work comes and goes. I remember when I went to L.A. it's probably the early 90s. It was for a Grammy Award thing. Everywhere I went, everybody was an actor. I mean, it's like the taxi driver, the convenience store clerk, the dude working at the smoke shop. They were all the dude that served us the pizza. So it's a very competitive field. Back in the day, I don't know how it is now, but I know back in the day there was a lot of actors in the Los Angeles area. Is it similar like that? Is it still the same?
Oh my God! It's the competition is brutal, bro. It's like being in being in the NFL or the NBA. As a matter of fact, I got picked to be in a company that is doing a Shakespearean play every week. Like last week we did Macbeth, and I played one of the lead characters, Malcolm. Mm-hmm. And what it is every week we're doing a different Shakespearean play, and for the whole year they're going to try to do every play that Shakespeare wrote. So Shakespearean plays, it's like playing classical music on the piano.
Yeah.
And the reason I was very honored that I was offered the gig, but the main reason I did it is because it's like, dude, it's like being a Navy SEAL as an actor. Mm-hmm. If you can train with doing Shakespeare, you can do it all.
Yeah.
And so I'm very blessed that Mary Carrick, who's the founder of this, it's called Shakespeare 2020 LA, that she cast me to be part of her company. And so yeah, no doubt, in order to compete with the big boys, it's almost like you have to stay. It's like being an MMA fighter, bro. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
Like you talk about MMA fighter. I love MMA, by the way, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw your fight with when they cut your hair.
Oh yeah, the wrestling.
The wrestling.
The wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that has a particular aspect. It has an acting aspect to it as well. I had to get into character stuff, so that wrestling's always been a passion of mine, and I've always studied it since I was a little kid. You know, every time I see movies, every time I see news, every time I see a program, every time I see a YouTube video from a content creator, I'm constantly analyzing and trying to decipher all the ins and outs of it. And that was me when I was a kid growing up watching wrestling, you know, the characters and the bad guy, the good guy, the dialogue, the promo work, so yeah, man, that's something that happened to me.
No, man, dude, I was riveted, man. I had to go back and watch all the episodes, man. You got me hook, line, and sinker. It was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun,
oh, my
man.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Great,
Hey, by the way, Rey Abrego wants to say hi, man. He's been calling us for the past 2 days, you know, and he told us to go to Instagram and check out all your video footage on Instagram, and so we were asking all our fans, and shout out to Rey Abrego, my Whiskey D production manager, and he's a big fan of yours, man, and you guys go back también, way back, man. We all do.
Dude, Ray is a saint, man. I love Ray, and he's the one that, for all intents and purposes, got us hooked up together, right?
Yeah, man, pretty much, bro.
That's awesome.
He sent me a T-shirt from his production company, right? Arena.
Yeah.
Concert Arena.
We've got one too, man. We all got one with our name on it, man.
And he created some pics, right? That has the Whiskey D logo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should spill the beans. Should I? What? But when I saw that guitar pick, I was writing another episode for Rock God. As a matter of fact, we were filming today. And dude, thank you, Ray, because it gave me it gave me an idea for my next episode. So I want to tell all the fans in South Texas, look out for episode 4, because Whiskey D and The Rock, something very, very interesting is going to happen. They're going to be featured in this next episode in a roundabout sort of way.
Well, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. And as soon as it's done, just send us the link so we can share it with everybody, and then play a little clip of it as well on our show. Okay, brother?
No doubt. But I just wanted to say that the competition is so brutal that for me, I have to continuously be doing, if it's not an acting class, it's creating my own content. So that way I'm ready when I go in there for that audition for HBO or for a major film, and that way the acting muscle is always ready to go.
Well, that's the beauty of being able to be ready at all times, like you said, like an MMA fighter, man. You got to be all ready.
You get the call.
Yeah,
you get the call. Somebody got hurt. Hey, remember when Nate Diaz fought the Irish guy?
The guy from Ireland.
Yeah.
The guy that fought the guy that fought Mayweather.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was for a championship fight, and it was like he got called and with 11 days notice. And so that kind of got me thinking that I got to be ready. Like, if I'm going to get the call, like, I always have to be ready just in case I get that phone call from my agent saying, hey, go to HBO, be the character, and knock it out of the park.
All right.
So,
all right. Well,
no, I was going to say, a lot of times you knock it out of the park, but everybody else knocked it out of the park. and like maybe you remind the director of the dude that he hated in high school or something. It's like, no, I'm going to go with the other guy.
Yeah.
You never know.
Haters.
That's just part of it.
Yeah.
Haters.
Oh yeah. Well, JD, you know what? We usually end off the show with our guest with hashtag PVT's top 5 questions for JD Mata. All right. So.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hold on. Give
All
me a
right,
second.
we
Give
got
me
to
a
throw the
second.
screenshot on there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, it's top 5 questions with JD Mata. We've had 5 questions. Question
Bring
number
it
one.
on, bro.
Question number 1, JD. Who is the greatest actor ever and why?
Who is the greatest actor ever and why?
In your opinion?
I probably am gonna say
3 seconds.
híjole. I'm torn between Johnny Depp and Al Pacino.
Ooh.
And James Cagney. Those 3. Let's go with Pacino. Let's go with Al Pacino.
Yeah. You
And
know,
the reason
uh-huh.
and he studied what's called a Stanislavski method. It's the method acting, where you have to you base your role on past experiences, and having done that, studied Stanislavski, and you try to become this character based on something that happened to you, and it gets pretty complex, and he's just such a master at that. So
He sure is, man, and he's done all kinds of roles, man. And I mean, one of my favorite ones was Scarface. I mean, he did a fantastic Cuban drug, drug king, and then he also came out as a blind guy in Scent of a Woman, and then the last movie I saw him with was The Irishman. It was on Netflix, I think, and man, he did a fantastic job as the union leader in that movie as well, man. All right, so
I went to a special screening when he was there. As a matter, I got to talk to him and shake his hand. As a matter of fact, for The Irishman.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. So, question number 2: what is the best directed movie?
I want to say Citizen Kane, bro.
Okay.
Orson Welles.
Yeah, that's an old school movie, dude.
Do you know that that's the first film he ever directed, because he did stage. And sometimes how they say ignorance is bliss. When you don't know, you don't know. Sometimes that's when you do your best work, man. They say necessity is the mother of all invention, right? And it was for me, that's arguably the greatest movie ever made, right? And the fact that he directed this movie, having never directed film before, it was just pure genius.
Orale. Wow. Question number 3.
Orale, bring it on.
La Bamba or Selena?
Selena, bro. Oh my God. Selena is just, she's a genius.
As far as but we're talking about the movie, La Bamba or Selena.
Oh yeah, no, Selena.
Okay,
Selena.
all right. Because La Bamba was great too, bro. Yes. I mean,
Richie,
Lou Diamond Phillips and Esai Morales. I mean,
dude, I saw Esai Morales. We were over here. There's a place called Runyon Canyon, and I saw Esai, right? And I go, "Hey, Esai, what's going on, bro?" And he had a bike, right? And you walk up to. I like to run. It's a real steep hill, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna run up with my bike, right?" And I go. And I go, okay, cool, go for it. Dude, about 200 yards down, I saw him on the side of the hill puking, bro.
Oh,
no. The last time I saw him was in a show called Ozark. He was like a cartel guy. God. And he gets his head blown off by some rednecks over there in the Ozarks. Yeah. And it was like, I wasn't expecting that, dude. It was like, what the hell?
I love that Ozark. Yeah, he's great. No, he's a great guy, man. I saw him recently at the market.
Yeah.
And, he's a great guy for sure. But he was great in La Bamba, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. And then I remember seeing him in a movie with Sean Penn called Bad Boys, where they're both in juvenile, and Esai Morales, there's some sort of accident that happens, and they end up in the prison together, and they end up getting into a big fight. But that's one of the cool movies I remember as a kid watching at the Rialto in Harlingen. Question number 4: what's the best thing about living in California, bro, in LA?
The best thing for me is that okay, let me put it to this way. I haven't been on a vacation, quote unquote vacation, in 20 years, because Los Angeles, Hollywood is like it's a 24/7 7-day-a-week vacation, brother. Here you got everything. You got the mountains, you got theater, you got films, you got the best of everything, man. You got anything in terms of culture, and so and then moreover, I get to do what I love to do, man.
Awesome. Okay, number 5. What's the worst thing about living in California?
The worst thing about living in California is, most people, what the conventional wisdom is?
What is
People
it?
say the traffic, but
Yeah.
for me, there's beauty in it. There's something about sitting in traffic for 3 hours.
What? What?
It gives me a chance to think about ideas for films, about character. The only problem is that, okay, I'll tell you what sucks about living in Los Angeles.
Oh, hold on. I was going to say there's some beauty about sitting in traffic for 3 hours, except if you had to be at an audition 3 hours ago, right?
Dude.
Or if you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Dude, I was on Valley time, bro, for a long time. Mañana, it's like, okay, if I have to be there in an hour, well, I guess I'll leave an hour before I have to go. No, here, brother, if you show up 15 minutes before you're supposed to be somewhere, you're late. Like you got to be there 30 minutes early, and then not only that, you got to factor in, like you said, the traffic. You never know if there's going to be a traffic jam.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different. The concept of time for me has radically changed because of the traffic. But
So if it's not the traffic, what's the worst thing?
I would have to say, you know what the worst thing about it is that, and I hate to say this, but every time I go to the Rio Grande Valley, like I can go anywhere and I say hi to somebody, hey, what's going on? ¿Qué onda? It's like everybody says hi back. Here in Los Angeles, as much as I hate to say it, people are really cold, man. Like I'll go. I like to run and walk, and 8 out of 10 times you say hi to somebody, they look at you like you have a third eye or something.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't know what it is. People here, they'll talk about how wonderful and progressive and how.
Do you think that living in a city like that makes them jaded or something in some sort?
You know what? That could be very, very accurate, because our industry, bro, like you said, a lot of people, everybody shares the industry. It's a brutal industry, man. It can create some dark clouds that linger. For me, I'm always I like to look at the silver lining, right? And I'm here because this is what I was meant to do. I found my niche. So, and I understand that, that there is good and there's bad in everything. Once I accepted the fact that I'm going to be disappointed, then I was able to, then I can be happy, for majority. Yeah, I go through downtime. I go down, but then I pick myself back up,
Yeah. You have to.
So I think a lot of people, don't understand that concept yet of pain is mandatory in this industry, but misery is optional. I don't have to be miserable.
That's true, man. It's
So
all
I
a
think
state of mind.
It's a state of mind. So you hit a really good point, man. You're good. Are you sure you're not a psychiatrist, bro?
Let me tell you, bro, I always look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And my wife, I mean, when we were going through the hurricane and we didn't have any, any electricity, she was like, how can you be so positive? How can you, because I was like, I always look at the bright side, and I always look at, we've been here before growing up, no AC, no electricity, I mean, and we're here again.
Dude.
And, we just got to get through it. I mean, we have to.
You know what? It was the day of the hurricane. I said, I'm going to watch rock. I go, you know what? I bet you the show's not going to be on because the electricity went off. I was hearing on it. But I go to freaking YouTube, and there you are with candles, bro.
Yeah.
Rain or shine.
Man, this dude is the real deal.
Yeah.
Hashtag TBT, the show must go on,
Yeah,
right?
it has
no
to,
matter
man.
what.
Yeah, and we're gonna try all our best, because it's all about commitment. You become committed, and you have to give it. And then whenever we commit myself, and I'll speak for my wife as well. She's exactly the same. We are not going to commit unless we're going to give you 110%. And that's just it. With my band, with my MC and my comedy. Back when I was, doing my drugs and alcohol, man, it was probably like 40%. But when I got sober, I said, okay, that doesn't fly anymore. The day that I go back to 40%, I might as well be using drugs again and alcohol. Yeah. So I refuse to get there or go back to that situation. So now every time I commit myself to anything, I'm going to give it 110%, no matter what it is. And, and I know you're from the Rio Grande Valley, and you're the same, and you've been doing it in L.A. And, man, let me tell you, JD, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight, bro.
Bro, okay, the pleasure's mine, bro. And just to piggyback on what you said, it's like, for me, one of the principles that I implement in my life here in Los Angeles is to start and finish no matter what. If I start a project, even if it takes 3 years, that movie, Chasing Steeples, it's a labor of love. It's for 3 years, that I finally got it done. But you start and you finish no matter what. And also, my hats off to Riley and to Felicia and your son. You've done a great job of raising your kids, Rock and Riley's awesome. She's amazing, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Sharp, man.
Yeah, you know what, dude? You don't realize how I'm in hog heaven, dude. Being able to do this show with my kids and my wife, it's just it's something that's a true blessing. And I think God rewards if you do things right and you have a good heart, man. You know what I mean? And I've tried to live that.
I understand production. It's putting out a bunch of fires, and if you don't have a good team around you, it's like it's just not going to happen.
And you know what freaked me out too, JD, is that they're so critical on themselves when they hit the wrong image or the wrong graphic. And then after the show, when we were barely starting the show, we had and one of them, the audio sounded like crap, and and after the show, we'd be watching it on TV, and my daughter would be so upset, Riley would be upset, and I'm like, hey, you all calm down. It's gonna get better. It's going to get better. We're going to move forward. This is what we got to do. We have to do this and then watch what we do and then learn from what we're watching that we do, watching what we did, and then just make it better. And that's the way it works. And you know what? Little by little, the show's just gotten better and better, man. I mean, and we're able to, have friends and artists and actors and musicians like you, bro, all the way from Los Angeles via phone line and showing some of your footage on our show. And it's just an amazing blessing, bro. And
thank you.
We appreciate you, JD, and we want you to take care of yourself. And we're going to be putting all your information on the description of the video, so all our fans can go to his YouTube link and his Instagram link and make sure to follow him and give him support 110%, because let me tell you, folks, he's telling us right now that what he doesn't like about LA is that people are cold, and here in Texas we're warm, baby. And we're gonna support our Hispanos. Okay, so JD, muchas gracias, brother. God bless you. I know it's still early over there, but it's getting kind of late and I'm old and I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my God! Hey, I look forward to being there in the studio with you someday, Rock.
You will be, man. Or you know what? I look forward to flying to LA and doing a show with you over there.
Yes, that would be good.
God, that would be so amazing, bro.
We got a place to stay, babe.
Yes, let's go.
You got a place to stay over with me, brother.
Yeah.
Keep on doing what you're doing. I love your guests have been. I love, like Chris Pettis, dude. That I was at Pins and Needles watching that entire episode. I actually opened up for Chris here in Los Angeles, bro. He did a show and I opened up for him. I got to meet him and
awesome.
Then I remember you had Nano Ramirez. That was a great show, man, because Nano has, he's been such an institution there in the valley with the Ferial.
Yeah, man.
So keep on doing what you do, Rock también, brother.
Órale, carnalito. Hey, love you, man, and ten mucho cuidado. Dios te bendiga, and stay safe with this COVID over there, and ten cuidado con los earthquakes también allá, okay?
Okay, man. I got a whole lot of shaking going on, bro.
God bless you, man. JD Mata, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Whoa. That's amazing.
He's so awesome.
That is just amazing, man. We really enjoyed his company this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll be making some episodes and clips, and that way, if you don't get to watch the entire show because it is kind of long, and some people just don't have the time to watch an entire show like that, we like to put points of interest and put them in episodes, and we like to upload them. We'll be doing them tomorrow and throughout the week.
We have a lot of people on their chat box, so can we do a couple of shout-outs?
Yes, of course.
So a couple of shout-outs. I want to send a special shout-out to Raul Alvarado. Sally J signs everywhere. She says everything happens for a reason. Just have patience and faith. That's awesome. Big D says, Dario, I love you and I don't know you.
I know they've been having like a conversation
what has been going on.
They're like Manu Garcia says, Dario, but you can't go wrong with a blonde either. I have no idea what they're talking about.
JC El Jefe 51 Vasquez says, Rally and Felicia, hashtag PVT producers. Thank you so much. Ray Zamora, JB are also on the chat box. Raul Alvarado says, thank you, Rally, for a great show. Everyone's chatting. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are hilarious.
Yeah, and Ray Abrego, man. Yeah,
Yes.
man. I'm glad that you're on the show. He hadn't even watched the show.
Yeah, I know. I helped him today. I send him screenshots of what to do. So he's on.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad.
he's got some I mean, this COVID thing. I mean, it's that we're used to being out and about doing things and putting up, PA systems and connecting cables and making sure the show's going right. And Ray's like,
Ya no se halla.
No se halla, man. En la casa nomás shelter in place. He's probably going nuts. And hopefully this will help you, kind of relax and chill out and enjoy something that you can do, while you're shelter in place. But let me tell you, Ray, as soon as this thing's over, Whiskey D is going to be all over the place, bro. And we're going to take hashtag PVT with Whiskey D, and we're going to take everybody on the road with us, okay? So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I do want to send a special shout out to all our Whiskey D family, JR, Mauro,
Rene. Yeah, and
Joey.
Yeah,
and Sergio as well, and am I
Franco,
yes.
Yeah, so everybody that's involved, man, for sure.
Yeah, so we can't wait till this COVID is
I know,
over
man.
So we can go on road trips again.
Yeah, the bus, we haven't gone to check it after the hurricane, and I got a picture from the guy there at the storage. He said that the antenna, that black antenna that's for, I think it's for the CB, it fell off, but that's just about it. That's all the damage he saw there. Hey, by the way, don't forget PVT Throwback Thursday mix is at 6 o'clock. We're going to be mixing it up today. We had a blast with it. And that's in 2 days, right? And then the Rock and Chaz show Thursday night. After that, we'll have Chaz. And this time we'll be very careful with the music we play. We don't want to get banned again. And, of course, we'll be hashtag PVT Saturday night party live at its regular time. Hopefully not another hurricane comes in and takes our light away.
Don't say that.
And we want to remind you also, join our Patreon club. $25 pledge gets you a special hashtag PVT t-shirt and sticker, and you have the chance of winning in our PVT weekly drawing for prizes. All you got to do is go to patreon.com, search Rock and Roll James PVT, and you can jump on, and man, it's a lot of fun, and we've got some different tiers. You don't have to give $25. If you want to be $9, we'll still send you something, but make sure to message us your address. And if you do become a $25 member, make sure to give us your t-shirt size as well, because we need to mail you your stuff, okay? Cash App is $ Rock and Roll James, and Venmo is at Rock and Roll James. So we have those two options as well. If you want to send us $5, $10, or whatever, and you enjoy what we do and you want to help us with the content we're creating, we appreciate your support, okay? And we want to thank you all for being with us tonight. Man, this was a pretty long show. How long was this one, babe?
We're at an hour and 42 minutes right
wow,
now.
Almost 2 hours, man. But it was really awesome talking to JD in LA, man. It's interesting, right?
Yes.
So awesome. All right, thank you for joining hashtag PVT Tuesday Night Live from the My PVT Network Studios. And thank you to Dr. T's Primary Care for Men for being a sponsor. If you need that vitamin infusion therapy, make sure to go and tell them about it. Ask them about it. They also have the COVID test if you need to take a test. I know a lot of people are asking about that. They can do that as well. And they also have testosterone, sermorelin, and all the good things that benefit the male body. And as a matter of fact, they also take care of women in Harlingen. She's primary care for women as well. Thank you so much. God bless you all. We're going to have a tamale.
Ooh, we have tamales, right?
Yeah.